Hello and welcome back to 20-somethings, the show by 20-somethings for 20-somethings. I'm your host and sassy sister, Ella Kenny, and today I'm joined by my soul sisters, Scott, Mandy, and Garrett. Alright, first up tonight is a topic that should spark fear in every heart of New England. Recently, there have been claims of a potential serial killer that have been circling, as bodies have been turning up left and right in coastal New England towns. I believe we have a clip. Roll it.
Rachel, you know, more and more people online are paying attention to this. They are concerned that some or all of these cases might be connected and that a serial killer might be striking in New England. In some corners of social media, like Facebook, the idea that a serial killer could be on the prowl in New England is getting more popular. This Facebook group, New England SK, has nearly 9,000 members. And in other forums, people are posting their concern that some or all of the bodies recently found in New England might be connected to each other.
Rough.
I don't think so.
All right, folks. Thoughts? Opinions? New England SK. Can we stop naming them? Can we stop giving them nicknames? What do we think?
Yeah, Mandy, you're very passionate about this.
Yeah,
so do you want to go first?
I'm going to say no. Just going straight out there. I mean, my bigger issue right now is how this is being reported, actually. Yeah. So we saw a People magazine article and a couple other online outlets saying that there's a serial killer using victims' faces and using their names when their families have specifically come out and said no, that they're not. They have not been killed. Yeah, they've not been killed by a serial killer. The police don't think so. Their private investigators don't think so. And yeah, so I mean, they can't even get it right when they're saying New England coastal towns. I mean, since when is Foster coastal? I think we have some bigger issues with the reporting that's going on. I mean, yeah, I think there's an uptick in what we're finding, but they're also missing cases. Like, if they really wanted to hit it home, there have been other women specifically found that they are not even addressing in these articles or on TikTok.
Oh, that brings me to my next point. I think TikTok has taken this and just ran with it because they want drama. And I don't think that's ethical at all. What do you think, Scott?
You know, I think every good serial killer needs a good nickname. And I don't think that nickname was good.
New England SK, it is a pretty bad nickname.
You could have, you could have.
Well, when they said
I think they're
SK,
still workshopping it. I think that's just the Facebook group.
New segment. Scott is going to name. What do we call the killer? Scott, go first.
Okay. New England. The clam chowder killer.
the clamor.
Yeah.
But
something that revolves around New England, but.
Yeah, it's weird to name a serial killer that
But
doesn't exist.
it's weird to name a serial killer, especially that he does not exist.
Yeah.
Most likely,
If like the victim families are like, no, they weren't serial killed.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Well, Mandy, you were saying that the police have even said that none of these cases are related and that the news is just...
Well, you said something about People's Magazine, right, earlier?
Yeah, so People Magazine put out an article and they referenced a bunch of the, you know, people who have been found, as well as some unidentified Jane Does. They're the ones calling it coastal New England towns again. I don't know since when Foster's a coastal New England town, or Coventry is one, which they didn't mention anything about.
People's Magazine is the same place where you buy candy at the front of the aisle at Shaw's.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't believe
Let's
anything. I don't believe anything that magazine says.
And I also have to say they never reached out, they didn't reach out to victims' families. And also at the end of their article, they never put where to go for more information on those, if you had information on those crimes. So
luckily, we have information.
And what we do, to wrap it up, we do have some information.
Yeah, so of the 3 victims that they mentioned in the People magazine article specifically, if you have any information about the murder of Paige Fannin, you can contact the Norwalk, Connecticut police on their anonymous tip line at 203-854-3111. If you have any information on the murder of Denise Leary, you can contact the New Haven Police Department. And if you have any information on Michelle Romero, please contact the Rhode Island State Police.
Great. And in all seriousness, please be safe. No one should ever walk alone. Thank you.
Preach.
Now, moving on, even though that topic is such a delight, there is at least one 20-somethings viewer looking at you, Keith. Last week's Blue Origin spaceflight has stirred up many controversy, and one astronaut in particular has stepped up to comment on said controversy. Let's roll the clip.
We're calling them astronauts now.
That's the first question. It's okay. Please win up
We're
there.
calling them astronauts. Holy, dude. Fuck you, Kate.
Oh, the moon! You got.
Hey, chat.
Sorry.
Are they astronauts?
I don't know. Like,
No.
I just heard like a schizophrenic sound in my ear. I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, that was some weird audio issue. But no, they're not astronauts. They're just space tourists. Like this.
They're
is
not even space.
100%.
Dude, they were like.
barely space tourists.
They did like a drive-through space
Yeah.
experience.
Oh,
They're
I love it,
tourists.
Gail.
They're tourists in the same way that if I were to like step on the beach in France, I'm a tourist, and then I just kind of leave. You know, I don't really go to France. I'm just kind of there.
You're just kind of there. I mean, they were probably in the air for 20 minutes. It takes 11 minutes to get to orbit, and then they were there for maybe 2, and then they came back down, and they kissed the ground. And Katy Perry,
Is Katy Perry so irrelevant now that she has to go to
That's why
space?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I guess so.
Damn, that
It's
sucks.
honestly giving like Gal Gadot singing Imagine during COVID with her just staring with the flower. Like that is the exact
That's
vibe that I
exactly
got.
what
That
it
level of like out
is.
of touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's so out of touch. I mean, they had to pay millions of dollars to go up there.
I actually did some research. Some of them didn't have to pay at all, but they won't say which ones. They say some of them
Gail.
went free of charge. Some of them paid. Applying just to apply to fly on a Blue Origin flight, you have to pay $150,000. That's the application fee. That can be refunded, but that's the application fee. And then they have to approve you, and like your social standing and whatever goes into the process of getting approved. And then even past that, some of them went for free. One of them was Jeff Bezos' fiance, so I'm assuming she went for free.
Oh,
Jeff
so
Bezos
it's just
her
like the
company.
college administration. That's how you get
Exactly,
into
it's
college,
about
right?
the same.
I think she pays in other ways.
Oh,
That's
definitely.
I don't think she's going up there for free.
Jeff.
Jeff, do you have something to say to Jeff? Do you want to go up?
That-
Scott, would you
Jeff,
go up?
that dirty dog. When I go up into
directly with
space,
Jeff.
Yeah.
I want to sign up for the one-way trip to Mars.
The one-way trip. Oh,
And
that's
not
right.
Yeah.
come back. That's my worst fear ever.
Well,
I'm so good
that's
with
a
my feet on
one-way
the
trip.
ground right here, where Keith Brown is here.
Very good. Very good.
I'm happy with my feet on the same planet as Keith Brown.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
I'll go for that.
Like, and we
All
can
right.
send Scott up.
Well,
Okay.
Keith Brown was forcing me to fill out a petition earlier.
It was
so,
not
like,
a petition. It was the.
I honestly, like, I could.
It was
You're
the
making him
instructor
giggle.
course review forms. Like.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I was gonna make a joke about space and the answers on that form, but I can't think of one.
That was really
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're 3 out of 4 stay on Earth because Keith Brown.
Yes.
1 out of 4.
I would like.
Because
I think
of
it'd be
Keith
cool.
Brown.
It would be cool to go
Right.
to space, but I wouldn't go to space as some like marketing scheme.
How much would you pay to go to space?
That's a good question.
I wouldn't pay to. Like, I would just like.
So
want-
you will marry Jeff Bezos to go to space? I mean,
Oh,
again, that's
I
a
think-
fee that I don't know
think
if you're
that's-
willing
So,
to
like,
pay.
if I
Flying.
really wanted to, I would become an astronaut, like through the NASA program.
Going
And then
back,
I'd-
Good
and then I'd
point.
get-
do
I
we
would get-
think that they are qualified to be called astronauts?
No.
Because
Absolutely
no.
not.
One
Absolutely
of them
not.
is a former NASA engineer, though.
Which is
Okay.
almost there.
Like respect.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Katie, girl.
I think you gotta
Go back to writing songs.
To be an astronaut. Maybe more than well, I guess if you're a real astronaut and went up for 3 minutes, then you'd
Then
still
you're a
be an
real
astronaut.
astronaut.
But like,
yeah.
I mean, it is cool. Begrudgingly, will say it is cool that they did
I've seen
get
a
up
lot of
into
space
orbit.
movies. It doesn't look that hard.
It's terrifying. I'm also so claustrophobic that would
I
not
was gonna
work.
say, have you watched like
I've
Gravity or
I
Apollo
saw,
13?
I saw The Martian.
Oh, Matt Damon.
That's a good movie.
Shout out, King.
That's a really
Okay.
good movie. You should watch it.
I've not seen it. I'll have
You
to
should
watch
watch
The
it
Martian.
tonight.
Well, now Garrett has plans for tonight.
I guess
And
so.
we go on to our last story. Tonight, crossroads in Palo Alto, shout out hometown, have been hacked. What? Now, when a pedestrian presses the cross signal button, a strange message will play in place of the standard beep. Let's have a look.
Dun, 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 dun,
Wait.
dun, dun. It is informed.
Hi, this is Elon Musk. Welcome to Palo Alto, the home of Tesla engineering. You know, they say money can't buy happiness, and yeah, okay. I guess that's true. God knows I've tried. But it can buy a Cybertruck, and that's pretty sick, right? Right? Fuck, I'm so alone.
It's real.
Hi, this is Mark Zuckerberg, but real ones call me the Zuck. You know, it's normal to feel uncomfortable or even violated as we forcefully insert AI into every facet of your conscious experience. And I just want to assure you, you don't need to worry, because there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop it. Anyway, see ya.
Dun, dun, dun.
What are you doing, King? Also, let's please get that correct, Elon. Palo Alto is the home of Ella Redmond, Kenny, so fix it.
Not Tesla.
Not Tesla.
That's where you were born?
That's where I'm from. That's where I was born. I was born at Stanford Hospital. So, anyways,
Heck yeah.
hey, what?
Yeah.
Could you imagine walking, just trying to cross the street, and then you hear some creepy little AI gremlin crawl
Yeah,
out?
you have to listen to AI.
Garrett, buy my Tesla. Garrett,
Okay.
please.
All right.
Oh, you like
Elon, I
this?
can't even afford eggs because of you. You want me to buy a Tesla?
Yeah, but all things considered, this seems like a pretty harmless prank.
Who did this? It is
don't
I
pretty
know.
disagree.
harmless.
It's
You
not
disagree?
harmless. So the beeping of a crosswalk, right, is to help with accessibility.
Yeah.
People who are, if it beeps continuously, it's so people who are blind can cross the road and hear where it is. So
Yes.
I actually think this is a huge
Well,
issue.
Yeah.
Still hear where that is.
Yeah, you could still hear
Yeah,
it.
but so this is not
That's
just happening
fair.
in Palo Alto. It was, all over Silicon Valley, but also
Yeah.
in
Really?
Seattle. And Seattle's DOT came out and said they felt it was irresponsible and dangerous for that reason.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
totally.
people use that to navigate their cities if they're visually impaired.
Now that we've outed Scott as a bad person,
Dude, it's hilarious.
It is funny.
It's
I
funny.
hate to
It's
admit
funny
it.
as a perfectly able-bodied human. But like, if you're trying to cross the street and you hear a voice, you're like, Elon, where are you?
I
And you,
want to go the other direction.
That's
I
true.
wanna run away.
That's so true.
he's scary looking.
Who did this and why?
Like, my money is on some really, really, really bored sophomore at Stanford that did not get a pledge to the fraternity he wanted and has
agree
nothing
with
else to
that.
do.
That's probably the case.
I know I'm right about a lot of things,
But
Scott.
how did they come up with this idea? How were they like literally crossing a
'Cause
street
it's
one day and
funny,
they were like, I
Garrett.
have an idea.
I
Like,
have an
fun.
idea.
It's because it's funny, Garrett.
okay, it's like
Until
it's
it's
dangerous,
not.
it is irresponsible, it is kind of funny.
It's also really
funny.
concerning how easily
It's
it
considered.
is.
Yeah.
That was my other concern. Is that
Yeah.
I feel like it's also dangerous because, like, how easy must it be to hack into the crossroad thing?
Maybe Seattle DOT is saying it's irresponsible and dangerous onto these people who hacked it, but maybe they need to look at themselves in the mirror and
Yeah.
Be
say,
like, hey, maybe we should
maybe
make
our
this
system
harder.
needs to be a little bit more
Hey
foolproof.
guys, what's
Yeah.
happening? Yeah.
because
They call me the Zuck.
That's so funny though. I'm
was
like, I'm only
hilarious,
referring
dude.
to him as Zuckman.
like,
That's
but like,
hilarious.
imagine what would have happened. Like, that person could have put whatever message they want. They also could have put nothing. So like,
Yeah.
if like, yes, the beeping is helpful if you're like, if you need to hear that sound, and like, maybe the AI voices of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are not preferable, but it's something. But what if they just put nothing, and like
Yeah.
now
That is
feels
scarier,
that
yeah.
feels like even more dangerous.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
feel-
that's
yeah.
my concern, is that somebody could do something even worse with this.
I feel like crossing the street at the crossroad is so outdated. I think we need more like jaywalking.
Bring back jaywalking.
Like we need people need to take risks.
I hope
you know,
campus
like,
police find you.
I
Guys,
jay-
don't jaywalk on
Finds
campus.
you accordingly.
Dude, that that intersection that you have to cross to get to Ranger from the Emporium, I have not once went to the crosswalk to cross
Really?
that.
Fair.
I
I've been known
always go
for
to the
ditching the Swan Hall to the Emporium crosswalk.
I
for
jaywalk that
sure,
bit
yeah.
every day.
Every
And you know
time.
what? I've done it in front of a cop multiple times.
I usually don't use the crosswalk
they
when
don't
I'm
do
crossing
crap.
like Butterfield.
Yeah, they don't
When I'm
do a
crossing
damn
Butterfield,
thing.
I just look both
Cops
ways and
have
I
never
cross.
stopped me at that crosswalk.
But
And I'll
would the
continue.
voice of Elon
I will
Musk
continue
stop
to
you?
jaywalk at that crosswalk.
But would AI Elon
Someone
Musk
did get
stop
hit
you?
by a bus there though one time.
At which one?
That crosswalk.
Which one?
The intersection.
That's how you get your free
where
tuition.
Edwards and
You're not
Edwards-
playing this game correctly. You
Gotta
get
stop
hit
doing the
in a
cracks, you
crosswalk
can get
by
hit.
a university bus. That's how you get free tuition.
That's
You're not
true.
playing the game, Scott.
Look, the federal government always has me in a. They already have me in a hole.
Well, yes.
That's fair.
And with that is all the time we have for today. We hope you had just as much fun as we did, right, Scott? And we'll catch you next week on the final
Say keep it Zucky.
20-somethings of the semester. Thank you for watching, and stay sassy and Zucky.
Stay Zucky is crazy.